Alright folks, so we live again. Welcome. I do apologize for not bringing out the Macho Man and Macho Libre. Reason is because my neighbors are doing drilling, and whenever I've got time I quickly film a video so I can still put out content while dealing with the situation. Anyway, somebody asked me, do you have a beginner's hammer build? And yes, I do. But it might be a little different to what you guys are expecting. So what I'm going to show you guys is how to build a supposedly basic hammer build, but, well, how can I put this? It's got its own way, okay? It might not seem as intuitive as other basic builds, and it technically does require a Rift Stalker. Normally I try to stop beginner builds at Valamir, but this one requires the Rift Stalker because I do think that it is the best for the situation, and you will sort of see that as we come in. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, with the hammer, first and foremost, I need to show you guys what your basic mods are. So coming over here to the hammer, you'll be able to unlock Mighty Landbreaker. So although this is a beginner build, this is what is necessary. You'll also be able to unlock Extended Clip eventually, alright? But Weighted Crown is not too bad until you can unlock that. But I'm going to show you with Extended Clip, okay? Ideally for this build, I like to use something called Turbine Trigger, but you won't have that until you start doing trials, then you can pick it up. It's what's ideal for an upcoming build that I'll show you guys much later on. But we're going to put in Extended Clip and Mighty Landbreaker because these are things achievable through the Slayer's Path. Alright, so although this is an easy hammer build, you do have to work toward it, and that's something I want to make clear. It's not going to be a day one hammer build, it's something you build toward, but it is ideal when you don't have legendary equipment. Okay? Okay. Now, follow me on this. You start out with the Stalker's Price. That is your Rift Stalker's hammer. Okay? And what you'll do is you'll put in a Berserker cell as well as an Aetheric Attunement cell. Okay? Your special is going to be Mighty Landbreaker for the extra damage. Your mod is going to be Extended Clip. Okay, and that's about it. Your Omnicell will be Iceborne. Okay, this is going to be useful for you. Next, you also want the Skarn's Defiance as your lantern with an Aetheric Attunement cell. Basically, this helps to boost your shielding and deal a lot of damage to the enemy because you will also be in close contact with the enemy quite often. Okay, your Volcanic Helm is going to be your helmet. This comes from the Charog. It comes, you put in a Sturdy cell to max out Sturdy. You've got your Boreal Resolve with a Parasitic cell right here. You have your Boreal Might with a Rage cell. And you'll have your Charog Legs Volcanic Treads with an Overpower cell. Okay, overall, what does this build give you? I'm going to go through the perk summary right now. Aetheric Attunement +6, Rage +6, Sturdy +6, okay? Aetheric Attunement for 50% faster lantern cooldowns. Your lantern cools down every 15 seconds. Very useful. Rage, you take damage, and you are going to take damage with this build. You deal 20% more damage for 15 seconds. Very useful for keeping your damage up. Sturdy, you don't get staggered when you're hit. This is what allows you to keep swinging your hammer, and that's what you want. Tenacious, every 100 current hit points, you deal 2% bonus damage. That's what you want. Assassin's Frenzy, this comes naturally with the Rift Stalker's hammer. You break apart, you gain 15% attack speed for 20 seconds. Berserker, okay? It's just useful for upping your raw damage. When you deal damage, you deal 2% more and it stacks 10 times, 20% total. Overpower, you are going to be able to stagger things quite easily with the hammer. So the 20% boost to your to stagger behemoths is very useful. And last but not least is Parasitic, okay? It delays damage, keeps you alive. It's just useful overall. Now with this build, you only have 1,050 hit points. So your Tenacious may not seem very useful. It's only giving you 20%. But that's where your Mighty Landbreaker comes in to up your damage by another 35%. And your Berserker also comes in to give you plenty of raw damage. Then added to that the Rift Stalker's unique effect, whereby when you whack, you get those orbs that increase damage. All of that comes together to help you really boost your damage. And I'll show you how this build works. Now, with the level 11 hammer, we'll go to Underval Defile, because, yeah, I was already level 11, so I should probably showcase this in that sort of scenario. We'll go solo, of course. And usually around past level 10, when you're facing behemoths up to about 4 or 5 levels higher, it's usually quite a difficult fight. So that's why I'm not doing the usual extreme thing where I go 7 or 8 levels higher, but because that is mostly for like when your stuff is at level 1. Around level 11, you should be able to fight the 4 or 5 level higher behemoths with no problem. You certainly shouldn't be fighting behemoths around your level, because that'd be pretty bad for XP and actually like you know, gaining properly, but that's okay. This is generally how it works. Also, with the easy builds, you can't really go too hard. Like with this one, normally I would have gone, like if I was using an easy build, like this one, I would go to Cold Runner Key for the 12 to 15 area, but Underball Defile is fine. It's more for like the purpose of like showcasing how this operates. Oh yeah, sorry, I almost forgot to say, for those of you that don't want to see the combat showcase, you can like, share, and subscribe right now. You can also drop a tip via the link in the description of the video. Alright, or send super thanks on YouTube. If you decide to do that, I'll be very grateful. You can also purchase Asian Robot merchandise. All of that helps me out tremendously and keeps my content running. Okay? Alright. So first is a Shadow Touch Drask. We start off with Elemental Disadvantage. That's okay. Now you'll notice I'm surprisingly not using my Mighty Landbreaker so soon. And the reason is because what you're gonna do is you want to get Aether Charge first before you do that. Then you start going ham. Now, unfortunately, when things get to this level, the issue is that you want to Aether Charge and then start priming your attacks. You can load up ammunition if you want to. I just sometimes prefer not to do that, but that's I leave that as a personal choice for each individual Slayer. Basically, my strategy with the hammer using these types of builds is to just swing and swing and swing and just keep swinging. And you should not only be able to stagger fairly often, but you should also get plenty of whacking done. That's what you want. Okay? Your lantern will cool down fast enough that not only will you deal a lot of extra damage to the behemoth, but you will also be able to stack up shields and just, you know, get everything done well in general. You will still be able to dodge, by the way. I don't think just because this build is a no dodge style, you don't have to dodge. You can dodge if you want, and that just helps you out. Helps you out, not anybody else. And basically, that's the strategy. Just swing. That thing's dead. Okay. Yeah, I think you can understand and see how combat is supposed to work with the hammer. It's very efficient, and that's particularly why for hammers I like to build them in this way. I feel it's so much better to build them with the no stagger style, so you don't think too hard. Your job is to whack, and that's what you do. Okay, you're not worried about what's coming at you. No, just swing. Now I know everybody's always like, oh, but you should be using that upward swing. I find that it does less damage, so I like this. I like my wild swings. Oh, is that how it is? Oh, spank your butt. Basically, I'm out of stamina anyway, so. Oh, come on. The only downside to hammers, in my honest opinion, is the fact that they're slow. Aw, that was a cheap trick. Come on. Also hate Spore Struck Embermains because they are boopable less than the normal Embermains. The normal Embermains have more boop frames, and that just makes things better, but That's okay. Sometimes you just gotta deal with that kind of stupid shenanigans. Like when it pauses to attack, I will happily smack it. Damn it, I keep thinking it's gonna do the run through and then I can boop it. Come on, you little piece of shit. Compared to the Chain Blades, which has a lot more mobility, the hammer is not so good against opponents like that, but I mean, it's not like you'll be dying or anything, so. Damn it! I hate you, Sports Truck Embermane. Absolute piece of ass with your tiny ass body. It's because you didn't take enough protein. You were a small child. Just you wait. Once I stagger your ass, yeah, baby. Now that's how to really do it. How dare you get up? This is also why I like Turbine Trigger. But easy builds, I cannot use anything from the trials. Woo! So it might take a little bit longer for certain mobile creatures like that, but overall you shouldn't have trouble. If the creature doesn't move much, like you saw with the Shadow Touch Drask, it's a very straightforward smackdown process. Ah, Charop. This is another one of my favorite customers. Why? Because it doesn't move much. Now when they don't move much, that's when you can do stupid shenanigans like this. Take full advantage of the power of the Rift Stalkers. Take full advantage of your 5 seconds. Take full advantage of your Iceborne as well. I love to do that. And when I know the creature has a relatively wide area of body, I'll just fully take advantage of it and go ham with the wax. And unfortunately, if, you know, push comes to shove and I do take a hit, it's usually not too bad. And again, with your Aetheric Attunement, you are in a very, very good position. The rage, everything, all this stuff that triggers, it's very good for you. I'll use my Iceborne in a solid combination together with the Lantern to make sure that I'm not in a bad situation, you know, even if things start to go badly against me. I'm usually left in a pretty good state. And I like that. That is something I can like. Look, it's that easy. Now you may not knock things down a lot, especially at the upper levels, because behemoths tend to be a bit more resistant toward that. But you will see that you don't die. This build has more of a defensive focus to keep you alive and, you know, well. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that. This is basically a simple and easy hammer build to run. Thank you very much for enjoying this video. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. If you want to see more of my content, you can also drop a tip by the link in the description of the video. If you want to do that, you can also send a super thanks on YouTube to keep my content running, or buy Asian Robot merchandise. Thank you very much if you decide to do that. Let's head over to the thank you scene. Thank you to August Top Tippers, Bravo7910, Gussie Marie, Krampus Reborn, Reese Mark 4, Lewis Grave, FNX Killer 43, Limitsuki PC, and Zabi Uzumaki. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all on the next one.